This is the most destroyed Game Boy that I've ever seen. And I got it for $5 at a garage sale this weekend. Can I save it? Can we rebuild it for less than the cost of a working Game Boy? Maybe even throw in a few upgrades? Dr. Mario has his doubts. Let's see if we can prove him wrong. A working unmodified Game Boy like this sells for 70 to 90 bucks right now. But instead of buying one, I'm gonna try rebuilding this disaster and maybe even upgrading it. I'm hoping we could come in under that $90 mark. I spotted this at a garage sale and I couldn't resist. It was through a fire. The previous owner kept it in his garage and apparently worked on cars. So when his kids would be out there hanging out while he was working on the cars, he'd let them play the Game Boy. Well, apparently the Game Boy, I don't know. I didn't quite understand if it got stuck under the hood or if he actually had an engine that caught on fire. Either way, it's seen some damage. It is definitely not gone well. Have you guys seen the Game Boy that used to be inside the Nintendo? I think it was one of the Nintendo places up in New York. It was a museum or something. It was in the original Desert Storm. This reminds me of that. Needless to say, I did try powering on. It didn't power on. I didn't get any audio. And to be perfectly honest, the only reason I picked it up was because one, it was $5, but two, when I looked at the back side, the motherboard or the cartridge reader sits on this side, and it looks like most of the damage was up front. And then looking at the contacts back in here, this one's a little corroded. Like, these are real bad, but these can be replaced. This one is the one that's actually on the motherboard. I'm going to call it the motherboard, but the cartridge board. And this one here. So these two. So, if they can clean up pretty good, maybe this still works. Maybe we can salvage this after all. So I decided to give myself a little challenge. Could I repair and upgrade this Game Boy for less than the cost of a Game Boy in good working condition? Not upgraded, just a working Game Boy. All right, so I got the motherboard out, and here's where it gets interesting. The motherboard actually looks like it's in pretty good shape. I don't see a lot. I had to clean up this negative terminal a bit. None of the plastic is warped or melted. This is the part that was closest to this headphone jack, was closest to the melted part on the case, and it's actually not bad. So I think we're going to be okay, but unfortunately I don't have a screen that I can plug in and test it, so we're just going to go with it. I'm going to source my parts, get them together, and see what we can come up with. Okay, I'm over on the Handheld Legends site where I get a lot of my pieces and parts, and I think I might be onto something here. So Hispeedido actually makes a kit that comes with a screen and actually has the board, the replacement control board, which I'm gonna assume is a lot cleaner and probably a direct play for this video processing board that's here. So for $60, I was really thinking that I was gonna have to source another stock motherboard, or I'm sorry, stock control board, but this looks like it's gonna do it for me. So I'm going to pick up one of these, and then we got to source a shell, buttons, and a speaker. Looks like we need a speaker for this. Awesome. So for the shell, I picked this up actually a couple weeks ago now at Southeast Game Exchange. There was a vendor there that was selling these UV printed shells, which you can find them on eBay, Etsy, and all over the place. Really awesome. Pretty neat the things you can do with UV printing now on plastic. So I'm going to try using it. We'll see what happens. I did pick this up for $10, so we'll add that to our total. And yeah, see where we got. Let's see. So in total, we've got $5 for the motherboard, $10 for the shell, which the shell came with the the glass too. The LCD kit was $60. The buttons and membranes were $10. And I was able to harvest a speaker from another Game Boy, not the burnt up Game Boy. So I'm going to call that one free. My donor speaker was dead. It's going in the trash. A speaker I had hanging out on the shelf, which I don't think is the right speaker. It's not even a Game Boy speaker. It was just the same size. It didn't work. I'm getting rid of it. Handheld legend once again. Funnyplaying speaker. These clear speakers, they're only $4, but we got to add it to our total. So let's fire it up. Okay, now that we know everything works, let's go ahead and put this bad boy together, see where we're at. A problem with keeping the screen in place. And I think what I'm going to do is use some more of that double-sided tape and secure it where it should be. It's shifting around too much here. All right, so when you install the board, you want to make sure that it's sitting flush with this side, the side that I taped, and down near the bottom too. There's a little ridge on that carrier sitting in there. You want to make sure all of that is good. All right, now that's going to hold it in place, at least while I get everything installed. This thing plays like new. It's hard to imagine where it was just 30 minutes ago. This high-speed I/Do screen actually, the contrast wheel presses in and lets us change the color palette. So you can go kind of crazy with it. And then if you hold it in, it'll give you a menu that actually gives you different display options, pixel effects, all that cool stuff. Yeah, it came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Would you have taken a chance on this $5 wreck or just left it for dead? Let me know in the comments. And if you love seeing old tech brought back to life, Hit that like and subscribe for more epic rescues.